guys.
Hi.
It is Tuesday, October 27th. Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you guys. Counting down the days that you come
Yes.
back. We're excited to have you back.
Yes, we are.
That's Monday. This is a interesting week. The weather wasn't too great on Monday. I don't know what day I think we're videoing for Tuesday.
Yes.
The weather wasn't that great yesterday. I don't know what it is today because we're videoing this the day before. So it gets so I hope it's a better day tomorrow. Hopefully some cooler weather, and Halloween's on Saturday. And then you guys
there's a half day on Friday.
Yes.
So you'll get shorter assignments.
Friday will be shorter. Friday will be shorter. Okay. All right, so let's get started how we always do so we can make this short for you guys. So no matter what kind of day you're having, we want to make sure that you have a chance to reset before you get started on this video and your language arts work, okay? All right, so let's breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And breathe in one more time and out. Smiling. It's great to see you.
Yes.
Great to be here. And let's get started on some language arts.
Okay, so today on your agenda, focusing on Tuesday, you're going to watch the video, which you're doing right now. And we're going to give you a little lesson on verbs, which we already did yesterday, but it's kind of a review and some whole group practice. And you're going to do a revising editing passage. And you're going to use your revising editing strategies, which will be attached to today's Google Classroom assignment. So that's on your agenda today. You're also still working on No Red Ink, your verb practice, which is why we're continuing to kind of model some things for you. Please make sure that you understand verbs in their entirety, because it's hard to write sentences or decompose sentences if you don't know what the verb is. Okay, so we're going to switch over to this little document here. I'll move this out of the way, Ms. Claus. Okay. All right, so we have predicates / verbs review.
Those two words mean the same thing.
Fixing to say,
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Ms. Claus, what is a predicate?
Sorry.
So what is a predicate?
It's a verb.
Okay, there you go.
So they, depending on different language arts teachers may only use the word predicate. That means verb. Some of us only use the word verb. Anyway, just so you know, in case you get to another language arts class, or maybe in the past they've only used predicate, you know that they mean the same thing.
Right.
So they're a synonym.
Right.
All right, let's always look at the directions first.
So we're going to look at the pictures. We're going to think of a word that names the subject, the actual noun in the picture. We're going to identify an action word that describes the action of that subject of that noun. We're going to build a bare bones sentence in the sentence frame. And we're going to we're not going to place these symbols, actually.
Okay.
We're going to delete number 5 because we're not going to put the symbols on here because we're having to show remote kids.
Okay. So I have a question. What is a sentence frame? I'm not familiar with that term, so I'm just wondering.
A sentence frame ensures that you have a noun, a subject, and then a verb, to make it a complete sentence.
Okay.
And so this little triangle right here, they learn that this is framing their sentence. First, you have the subject or the noun, and then it leads to what it's doing.
Okay.
So this is just a different way of decomposing sentences.
Okay.
But we don't have to worry about that. Remote kiddos.
Are they just going to type it on that bottom one?
They don't have to type it at all.
Oh, just write it?
They can write it, or they can just listen to us, whatever they want to do.
Okay.
But, so let's look at this first example. Obviously, this is a ball. And we want to think about what it's doing in this picture. Well, the ball is bouncing, or the ball bounces. The action word is bounce. And you can see, because of the little drawing, the sketch, how it lands on the ground and then it goes back up. So the ball bounces. The noun is, or the subject is ball. The verb is bounces. Okay. What's going on here? What's the subject? Now, you could say box, but really you want to think about who, you want to think more of a creature, a person, an animal. I always think animals like they're like little humans.
Yes.
So the puppy, what is the puppy doing? He's sleeping. So the puppy sleeps. And instead of using that helping verb, is sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to just use the action word. The puppy sleeps. And that was one thing I remember I learned in 7th grade language arts is trying not to constantly put is doing the such and such, is doing such and such, was doing such and such. Just tell me the action.
I like that.
Okay. So the puppy sleeps. Right here, the ball bounces. Don't say is bouncing or was bouncing. Okay. The kids skate.
Okay, so there's more than one.
Yes.
So it has to be kids or children. It has to be plural.
That's good.
It has to be plural because there's more than one.
And if you notice that skate would not end in an S because if you're starting with a plural noun, the verb has to be in agreement with that.
And it can't have the S.
It cannot have the S. Just like
the
puppy
kid skates.
Yeah, the puppy sleep. The puppy sleeps.
And we'll get into subject verb agreement
soon.
You can hear it a lot of times.
Yes,
that's what I love about verbs. Oftentimes you can hear the correct, if it's correct or not. Okay, so
the kids, don't say the kids are skating.
No,
the kids skate.
Just keep it simple, like it said in the directions. Bare bones, short, sweet, to the point.
Here we have 3 girls. Those are the nouns, or children, like Miss Claus said earlier. Children jump rope.
Or the girls.
The girls. Rope. There you go. Don't say the girls were jump roping. Jumping
funky.
rope.
That
jumping
sounds
rope.
Funny.
It does sound funny.
It does.
So just say the action.
Yes.
Just say what's happening.
I like that.
The boy listens to music. Listen is actually something that you're doing. It's an action word. We can see that he's listening
to music. So you're probably going, well, maybe he's listening to something else. No, it has little music notes coming out to the side. That's why it's music.
Okay. The boy thinks. And you can even add a prepositional phrase, but we're doing bare bones sentences. The boy thinks, but you could say the boy thinks about an astronaut.
Okay.
And about an astronaut would be a prepositional phrase because about is a preposition. But thinks is actually a verb. That's what he's doing. Okay. The crowd panics.
The crowd panics.
And think of some good when you're looking at pictures or when you're trying to write a sentence, think of some good vivid verbs that someone could visualize.
Right. So you wouldn't want to on this one say that the crowd runs. They're running, but look at their hands. Their hands are up. Their mouths are open. They look like their
eyes are wide.
They're scared. They look scared. They look panicked. Yeah. Maybe it's Halloween night.
And
they were at a haunted house. I don't know. But to say that the crowd panicked gives us a better idea of what happened. It's trying to think of what I'm trying to say. When you just say that they're scared or that they run or they ran, those are neutral words. They don't, it's hard to picture that in your mind. But when you say panic, I think of exactly what their faces look like. Their mouths are open and they're screaming. Or look like
it kind of helps me connect with them. Because when I panic, I look like that.
Yes. But just to say that a group is running or they ran, that is a lot of different.
That's boring.
Well, it's boring and it's hard to picture. Picture. So I like that.
Good deal. Okay. So that was just some practice that we wanted to go over with you when you're thinking about the action in a sentence. What's happening? What is the subject doing? Constantly ask yourself that when you're on No Red Ink. Make sure you look at those sentences and make sure that you actually look at the noun or the subject, which you practiced before, and ask yourself, what are they doing? Okay.
So Ms. Wiley has pulled up a No Red Ink, just in case some of you, if you've had trouble or maybe you haven't started it yet, this will be a good little lesson. We tend to do this in class too with students, just to help and kind of go through it with them. Remember that you should have your SAM page pulled up as well, because you need to find the prepositional phrase first, then look for the verb. So we have Senna, is that how you say it? Senna jumped into the pool after me. I see 2 prepositional phrases. I see into the pool and after me. I no longer have to deal with those words at all. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5 words I don't have to deal with because the subject and the verb will never be found in the prepositional phrase. I'm left with Senna jumped. So jumped is going to be my verb. Now, jumped is not going to be on that SAM page because it's an action verb. There's too many of them to list. The only verbs that are listed on the SAM page are linking verbs, is, am, are, was, were, be, been, being, and those are to the right-hand side of the prepositions. And then below the prepositions, there's a list of helping verbs. Helping verbs, those linking verbs that you're seeing beside the preposition, also can double dip into being a helping verb. Okay, so it's not incorrect. They can be helping verbs as well. Okay, but jumped would be your verb. Okay?
And Senna is your subject.
Yes.
What is he doing? He jumped.
So we're gonna click it and then we're gonna click submit. Okay, so let's do another one.
Okay. President Snow and I play in the park on weekends. Oh, look here.
I see that. I noticed that too. I was thinking the same thing.
If I took out President Snow, I play in the park on the weekends. That makes sense.
Yes.
Instead of saying me play in the park on the weekends.
So remember last week we talked about, and you even have a slide. Did they have a slide? I don't remember. Anyway, anytime you're trying to figure out if you use someone and I or someone and me, take out the other person like Miss Wiley did and just use either I or me and finish that sentence. If whichever one it sounds right with, that's the one you use. Okay. But I'm going to look for prepositional phrases. I notice in the park and on weekends. So I don't have to deal with those anymore. I'm left with President Snow and I play. So again, you have two subjects, President Snow and I, and what did they do? They play. Play is going to be your verb. It's an action verb, so it's not on the SAM page. Okay?
That's right. Okay, so that kind of wraps it up for us. Keep making sure that you're looking for those prepositional phrases. Take those out. Okay?
Do those first.
And then figure out your subject. Ask yourself the question, what are they doing?
Now, notice that we're not marking anything on no rating for prepositional phrases. We're just doing it out loud. We're just identifying them out loud, and we know just not to deal with them anymore. The only thing you're going to identify on no rating are the verbs. That's it. Okay. But you just have to be in that practice to find the prepositional phrases first. Okay. And that's it for today.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay. We'll talk to you later.
Happy no rating.
Yes. Bye.